Hello and welcome everyone who is starting to join today's webinar. We're going to have a couple of minutes for allowing everyone who has registered to join us from Turkey or from outside of Turkey. Today's webinar, it's a question and answer or ask me anything type session with our Graduate School of Social Sciences LLM program. For those of you who are interested in applying to the LLM in private law or in public law at Koç University, or if you have already started an application or submitted an application for these programs, it's an opportunity to clarify any questions or doubts you may have as you're preparing the documents and the information for your application. So with us today, we have Ms. Esra Özcan, who is the Executive Director of our School of Law and the coordinator for our LLM programs. So I'll ask her to say briefly hello to everyone.
Hi.
And we have Ms. Tuğçe Satana, who is the coordinator of the Graduate School of Social Sciences and Humanities, because our LLM program and our law programs sit under this graduate school at Koç University. So the idea is that we're going to give a brief recap of the program and the admission requirements, and then answer your individual questions. To answer questions, we kindly ask you to type them in the Q&A that you can see at the bottom of your screens. If you're joining us from a mobile phone, you will find them perhaps on the side of your screen. We're going to have about an hour or 45 minutes to answer all questions after the presentation. Before we start, I would like to launch a very quick poll, just 2 questions. I'm going to launch it now. Just to know, those of you who are joining us right now, if you have already started an application in our online application system, and we would like to know where you're from, because we do know we have a lot of interest from candidates, both from Turkey and outside of Turkey, but this will give us an idea of any specific areas we should maybe give a bit more detail or spend a bit more time in terms of the presentation. So I'm going to wait until we have most people. I mean, we have now about 75 of you have voted. Let's have a couple more seconds. You can find the poll also at the bottom of your screen. If you're joining from a mobile device, you would see it on the more icon. Okay, so I think I'm going to end the poll and share the results so that you can also see. So, okay, so we have a pretty even split group here. So 50% of you have started an application, well done. 50% of you have not, so this is the right place to be so that you can answer all your questions before you start. And we can see 58% of you are joining us from outside of Turkey. So hello, welcome. I hope it's not too late or too early, wherever you are. And 42% of you are joining us from Turkey. So merhabalar, everyone. Today, we're going to be answering questions in English and in Turkish. If you wish, you can type your question in Turkish, and we will provide a quick answer if you want Esra and Tuğçe in Turkish, and then do a brief translation of that. Please don't be shy about asking any questions. You can ask questions anonymously as well when you're typing the questions on the Q&A. So with that, I'm going to first ask Esra Hanım to share her screen. She has prepared a brief recap presentation because, again, we know some of you have already started, some of you haven't. So this will help as a to refresh your memories or to know maybe some things you didn't know before.
Yeah, thank you, Melissa, and thank you everyone joining us today. As Melissa introduced me, I'm Esra Özcan from Law School. And thank you again for coming here. Before answering your questions, we thought it would be great to present very briefly our LLM programs. As you know, we have 2 LLM programs in public law and in private law, and we have 2 tracks. We will go through that. Sorry. I just want to start with our beautiful campus. Good pictures from the health days. We are looking forward to going back to our lively and amazing campus in September. Hopefully, if you get admitted, you will be studying in this beautiful campus in Istanbul. Why would you study LLM at Koç University? It's a general question, but we have an amazing answer for that because our faculty members are internationally renowned, and we also have a lot of international professors coming from different regions to provide international and comparative aspects of legal disciplines. we have a wide range of curriculum, and we'll go through the courses that we're offering. We have international environment. Lots of our students come from different regions of the world, and you have a vibrant and international environment, both with your classmates and also professors. We have academic collaborations with leading institutions in Europe, Asia, and the Americans that will give you exchange opportunities throughout your LLM studies. And the most important part of our LLM program is that we offer the program on a modular basis. That means that it's kind of a part-time work. So you can study on Friday and Saturdays because we conduct our classes on Fridays and Saturdays. That will give you some time for your research or also part-time work or international or your internship, legal internship throughout the weekdays. And the tuition is affordable, and we also have some financial aid opportunities that we will go through. Koç universities and research institutions, and under the law school, we have research center on international commercial law and global public law. And we also have a lot of working groups. That means that our professors conduct international projects, research projects, and LLM students and PhD students can help them in their research. And also they can do an independent study format if you would like to pursue a topic that is not in your curriculum. You can definitely follow this research with your professor, and we count them as one elective course. And as I said, we have two tracks of LLM, one with thesis and one without thesis. So which is the difference for international students? I'm sure Turkish students are aware of this, but for international students, thesis program takes 2 years. 1 year you take 7 classes, and the second year you follow a thesis, an in-depth research dissertation. But non-thesis program is usually what we know about international LLM. It's just on a year program. You take 10 classes, and then you finalize the program with a final paper, a project paper, which is a short kind of dissertations around 15,000 words. And the program itself, the program is English, but we also offer some Turkish classes and bilingual courses, only for Turkish students, of course, but international students only take English classes, and the program itself is in English. So the modular basis course, that means that you finish one class within a 6 to 8 weeks on Fridays and Saturdays. So for elective classes, you can take LLM courses, but also the whole graduate level courses offered at Koç University are also open to LLM students. So if you have a different interest other than law and would like to take some elective courses, you can take different disciplines to provide interdisciplinary research. This is a curriculum. The courses under public law and private law are the required courses that you have to take. If you're a private law student, you have to take these 4 courses. And if you're public law students, you take these 4 classes required. But then we also have common elective courses. And also, if you're interested in a public law course as a private law students, you can take those courses as well. And also, if you're interested in some private law courses, it's open to public law students as well. I'll give a couple of seconds for you to go through the courses. As I said, if you have a different interest other than these courses and would like to pursue that as a research, you can write your dissertation on that topic under the supervision of a professor. Also, you can conduct an independent study as an elective course throughout your studies. So we have only one intake in fall semester. Fall semesters in Turkey starts late September, and the deadline for this year is 21st of June. The applications are taken on our online system, apply.ku.edu.tr. I'm sure some of you already started that. And we evaluate applications on academic merit. So what happens when you submit your application? So we go through your application documents, and the shortlisted candidates are invited for an interview. which is an online Zoom interviews. And then after that, you're provided with a written exam. So both evaluation methods, both interviews and written exams, professors ask questions on your educational background, also the program related questions. If you're applying for a private law program, that means that you will be asked questions in that topic. So will be required to answer a lot of questions under those topics and all courses actually. Or if you're applying for public law, the public law professors will ask you those questions. So international students might ask what kind of questions we will receive. Of course, our professors will be evaluating your own educational input, and also they would like to ask you a comparative and international aspects of law. After the interviews and written exams, your offers will be available within 2-3 weeks. Graduate schools will send you by email, and the enrollment usually takes place in September. I'm not sure if you have a correct date. Tuğçe will answer that questions. And also, if due to COVID situation, if you cannot travel to Istanbul, you can definitely defer your enrollment to the next semester. So the criteria for admissions, both for non-thesis and with thesis program, we first ask for language proficiency exam score. International students are required to submit Toefl score, as we don't accept IELTS in Turkey, and YDS and YÖKDİL are English language proficiency exams based in Turkey. As a Turkish student, of course, you can submit Toefl, YDS, and YÖKDİL. So some of you might have already like IELTS score. Of course, you can apply, you can submit your applications with an IELTS score, but that would give you a conditional acceptance. So you will have to provide a Toefl score afterwards. ALES is an academic enrollment exam in Turkey. So it's only Turkish students and it is over 55. And non-thesis program, we do not ask for ALES score. Graduate point average GPA 2.75 for with thesis program and 2.50 for non-thesis programs. So you might have different grading system in your country. We accept those and then evaluate and convert to our grading system to see if you have the equivalent score. And you of course submit your diploma or transcript. So some of you are still waiting for your diplomas. I'm sure you will be graduating maybe in June or July. You can submit your applications with your current transcript, and then you can provide your diploma afterwards. The tuition and the most important question that we usually receive about the scholarships. So LLM with thesis and non-thesis programs, the program fee is not the yearly fee. Okay, the whole program is 76,500 Turkish liras, which is around 11,000 US dollars for international students, and you can pay in 2 quotas. As I said, it is not the yearly fee, it is the whole program tuition. So LLM, so the tuition fee, we offer tuition fee waivers to successful candidates based on your successful performance in written exam and interview. As I said, the admission committee will ask you several questions, both in interview and also in written exam. Based on your performance, the committee might decide to offer you 25, 50, or 100% tuition fee waiver. And for non-thesis, we only offer a maximum 25% tuition fee waiver. Of course, again, the same applies for this, your successful performance in written exam and the interview. So quickly, as I said, the university and our LLM program is very international. These red lighted countries are the ones that we usually receive our graduate students. And as you can see, we pretty much have students from all around the world. And the classroom is very international. You will hopefully experience it next year. And the international exposure opportunities Koç University has hundreds of global partnership agreements with many students, with many schools across the world. And as a thesis or non-thesis student, you could join an exchange opportunity based on your, of course, successful completion of your courses. Then you can spend a semester or 2 semesters at a partner institutions abroad. This is an update. Actually, we created this after the pandemic, and as we know that it is very hard for many students to get some general exams such as Toefl, or also you cannot receive your LLB diploma immediately. Therefore, we decided to accept applications without some documents. If you're missing some documents such as exam score or ALES or diploma, you can still submit your applications, and we evaluate you on written exam and interviews. And if the admission committee decides that you're successful, you receive a conditional offer, which means that you will have to submit your missing document within the first semester. Am I right, Tuğçe? Within the first semester of your studies. And these are some contact details that you can apply. You can contact us. This is my email address and our website, and also study@ku.edu.tr for international applicants. You can always contact us, and we are ready to answer your questions. This is a very brief information on our programs, and I'm happy to open the floor and answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Esra. So I hope for those of you who had not started an application yet, that was a brief introduction. And of course, we invite you to check the law program website, where you can find detailed information about each of the faculty members, the courses, the current students, and also, of course, on social media. The Graduate School of Social Sciences and Humanities has an amazing Instagram channel where you can follow some of the achievements of faculty members, students, and alumni. So now we're going to start with the question and answer part of today's webinar. Thank you again, everyone who has joined us. As a recap, we're now going to be asking questions to Ms. Esra Özcan from our law school and Ms. Tuğçe Satana from the Graduate School of Social Sciences and Humanities. Please type your questions in the Q&A section of your screen, which you can see at the bottom. So far, we have the following questions, and I'm going to then ask our panelists to answer. So first, very practical question: how much is the scholarship and what is included? If I can answer that.
Yeah, it is 76,500 Turkish lira. It is a tuition and the program fee, and there is no extra financial aid. Unfortunately, we can only offer the tuition waiver based on your academic success during the interview and written exam. Tuğçe, would you like to add anything else?
Yes, the scholarships are limited, and the students, like as Esra Hanım mentioned, are on merit basis. The students can and may get full tuition waiver based on the quality of their application dossier. However, there's also partial scholarships available in the amounts of 25, 50, and 75%. So, but this is, again, I would remind you, on merit basis only, and the scholarships are very limited.
And so it's a tuition waive scholarship, so it does not include financial aid for other expenses such as housing, food, transport, or anything else. For that, we usually recommend that you look for alternative sources, whether it's savings, educational loans, support from your employer if you're currently working in a law firm, for example, or in an organization. Okay, so we have another question. If you are from an English-speaking country, do you need to do the TOEFL? So I'm going to interpret this as if your citizenship is from an English-speaking country, such as the US, Canada, Australia, UK. So yes, so if Tuğçe can answer this, please.
Yes, so you do not need an English score coming from an English-speaking country. And if you do not have a current score for those who are coming from non-English speaking countries, you may get evaluated at the time of application evaluations. You may get acceptance, and you will be given a conditional acceptance with a 1 semester timeline to complete this requirement.
Okay, thank you, Tuche. There's a question, will there be similar information for PhDs? Maybe we can have, maybe at the end, if we have some time after all the LLM questions, if you can type us your specific PhD questions, we can answer them as we have Ms. Esra here. But we are not planning on doing a PhD specific information session, at least during June. And the deadline is 21st of June. So we would probably plan one for the next academic year admissions, okay? So please do ask your questions. We'll leave them to the end though, so that we can focus first on LLM related questions. Okay, so we have another question. So I did my LLB in 2017. My current age is now 32. Can I apply for the LLM program and also the available scholarship? Is there any age limit for admissions?
No, there is no age limit for admissions or scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
So you can apply even whenever you're graduated, it doesn't matter. So if you have the criteria to apply, you can definitely apply and you will be evaluated equally with other peers. Yeah.
Thank you. Do you provide the LLM program in English or Turkish?
In English. The program is itself in English. It's offered in English, but we offer a couple of Turkish courses for Turkish students.
Mm-hmm. Is that related to Turkish law?
Yeah, it is. They are all related to Turkish legislation. That's why we offer them to Turkish students. But the program, you can complete the program with international English courses entirely.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We have a question, which is, can you explain a bit more the nature of questions put to students during the admission interview? Maybe.
Yeah, it is a bit tricky question, and we receive that a lot. But what can I say? The first of all, the interview, you shouldn't have to put so much pressure on yourself, as you're a graduate of LLB, so you can definitely eligible to answer lots of questions that they ask. They just want to get to know you better and how you carry that low profile on you. So they will ask you a couple of questions on, generally for international students I'm speaking, that the global issues on legal work or legal profession. So they can ask you a case and they would like to ask you, evaluate that case based on such legal disciplines. So they can ask you, evaluate this on international criminal law or international arbitration law. So that they will just, ask you to, based on the, concrete cases. And I'm sure that you will be aware of those cases. They usually ask like well-known international and global situations or such cases. So that's the old, tip that I can give you.
Important thing, I guess, is not to get nervous.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah, okay. There is a question again about scholarship, just to clarify. Will the scholarship be full or is there another evaluation, like a separate evaluation for scholarship?
No, there is no separate evaluation for scholarships. All applicants are evaluated on the same merit, and if the admission committee find you successful, they can offer you some percentages of tuition waiver.
Okay. To recap, another question, what should be the minimum eligibility? Maybe here we're talking about GPA and Toefl scores.
So out of 4, you need to, if you're applying for a thesis program, you need to have at least 2.75 LLB graduate GPA. And also for Toefl, you should have 80 IBT. Other than that, as an international student, you don't need to submit any other documents. The most important part that we usually receive, that it is unique for LLM programs, that we do not ask for reference letters or statement of purpose. We want to evaluate you based on your academic success on interviews and the academic written exam. So you don't submit your reference letters or statement of purpose. Thank you.
Okay. There is a question, what is the word count for the LLM thesis? So as a master thesis, what is the minimum word count?
As far as I remember, I have to check that because we have a guideline for that. It's a huge package. So 30,000 words minimum. And there are lots of course, some guidelines how to write your thesis. but if I'm not mistaken, it is 30,000 words for the dissertation.
Are the dissertation rules the same across all the graduate programs?
No, because law discipline is something different. So other disciplines, other departments might have different guidelines, but for us, we have like LLM research guidelines.
Okay, great. We have a question. Is it possible to spend one semester at a partner university during the 1 year of a non-thesis LLM?
Yes, so the part is that usually the legally non-thesis program, you can extend one semester. So during the first 2 semesters, you finish your courses. So we ask all LLM students to finalize their course loads first, then they can go for an exchange. So you can extend your education for a 3rd semester, and in that 3rd semester, you can write your final paper at a different institution as our partner institution as an exchange student.
And I think a follow-up question that I'm thinking of, if I would go for that option, is do they have to pay any extra tuition for that?
No, the whole program fee will have been paid off, and so they don't have to pay extra for extending the program.
Okay, and that 3rd semester can be, for example, the summer semester.
Summer semester or fall semester.
If the partner university is open for exchange students during the summer. Okay. Can we see all the courses that we can choose this year on the website, or may the list change every year?
LLM courses, they're all the same. So they can find on our website, and also I showed them. This is a package, the full package that we offer every single year. So of course, there are a couple of new courses if a professor provides extra class for LLM courses, or if we have an international professor coming to deliver a course. But it is, it is announced later on. But this whole curriculum is available on our website, and they are open throughout the year.
Can LLM students choose electives outside of that list that you showed? Okay.
Exactly. So they can choose any elective courses in the graduate school.
Okay. But the list of electives, it's only available once they enroll, and they can see.
They are enrolled on cruises, yes.
Okay. Okay. We have a question for the, okay, so this is a PhD question. I'll leave it here for the end. Is it possible to attend the Toefl exam after you get admission?
Yes, if you're missing a TOEFL score, you can submit your applications without that. And if you pass interviews and written exam, you will be receiving a conditional offer, which means that you will have to submit a TOEFL score within the 1st semester.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Does the university offer materials for the examination beforehand, for the written exam? Any guidelines or any?
No, we do not provide such information beforehand.
Okay. How many students usually attend or enroll in the LLM program? What's the class sizes, I guess?
And the class size is around 20 to 25. And every year we recruit around 20 to 30 students. This year we might
brand, for each brand.
Yeah, for each brand. So usually 20 for private law, 15 to 20 to public law, but it depends, and it changes every year. The dynamics change, and sometimes we receive more public law students than private law students. We do not the maximum amount is 15 to 20 for each program.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I have a question. I have a problem with finding the section to upload my motivation letter to the online system. Do I need to upload a motivation letter in order?
As I said, no statement of purpose or motivation letters for LLM programs are needed, so you don't have to submit that.
What may happen is if you have also applied for another program that does require a motivation letter, then you will be asked by the system to upload that motivation letter for the other program that requires it. Okay, let's see. This is an undergraduate question. Do you provide an undergraduate law course in English?
No, we have international English elective courses, or core courses as we call them. But LLB programs in Turkey they have to be in Turkish. So it is Turkish legislation. So the courses are in 70% of our curriculum is in Turkish in the LLB program.
At the undergraduate level. Okay.
Yes.
So there is a question here. Does the university have programs that allow students to be more practical with what they have learned, like Moot Courts, for example?
Yes, we have like every year we, as a Koç University Law School, we have teams joining international Moot Courts. So LLM students can also be in the team selected by the committee, and we have lots of teams like we have for maritime law, international arbitration law, just international law Moot Courts, such a Moot Courts that we every year we prepare a team and join them.
Is there any special scholarship for students from Pakistan?
We don't have specific scholarship schemes for based on like countries.
Mhm.
These scholarships and tuition fee waivers, they're all open to every student, regardless of their nationality. They're evaluated same, basically.
Melissa, maybe we can share the link of Türkiye bursları.
Yeah, so I was going to mention Koç University does have an agreement with Turkish Scholarships, which is a national scholarship program offered by the Turkish government for students from every country in the world, not only Pakistan, from every country. And under our agreement, there are scholarships for master programs with theses and PhD programs. So, for example, if you want to study our LLM with thesis program, with a full scholarship from the Turkish government, you need to apply on their application system. They have specific application periods, which unfortunately for this year, they are closed. They open their applications in January and close them in late February. So if you're interested in, and the main benefit of that scholarship is that it also includes things like a flight, for example, from your country of residence to Turkey, and Turkish language courses if you want to learn Turkish. So for that, you would need to apply for next year, okay, for the fall 2022 admission period. I'll type the website address on the chat before we finish. Let's see, we have another question here. Okay, so can I be enrolled without sitting for the TOEFL exam? Our official language is English, and I have obtained all of my previous academic qualifications in English. I think
No, so yeah, I think it's just even though they finish their whole education in English, if they are not a native speaker, due to legislations, they have to submit a TOEFL score.
Tuğçe, do you want to add any?
I mean, yeah, they can take TOEFL, and in the case that they get admitted to the program, I think YDS also offers international students to take the exam. So when they're here, they can also take the YDS exam, which is less costly than TOEFL, and it's open to international candidates to take the exam. So they can also have the alternative to take YDS exam instead of TOEFL, but they do have to have a valid English score.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. We have a question from someone, I guess, who had submitted their application. When will the written and oral examinations take place? What will be included in these exams has sort of been covered. Do you think we need to take a look at all the law courses we took, or will the questions be about our courses of interest? I think it's important.
Yeah.
People may join a bit later.
So if they already submitted their application, we start actually for online interviews already. So, but we're conducting our private law and public law interviews throughout this month, and also so for the second round, we're having the interviews and written exams on the 7th of July. So you will definitely hear from us. When we schedule your interview, you will have a message from Study Koç University email address saying that this is your time and date for your interview. So you just over the Zoom, like this one, you will have your interview with the committee. They will ask you a lot of questions on the they're going to ask the questions on the basis of the program you're applying for. So if you're applying for private law, you will receive questions in that field. Also, if you're applying for public law, you will of course have questions on that field.
There's a question in the chat that I think it's also about dates. So it's when will we receive the results? So I'm going to rephrase this question, and after you have done the interview and the written exam, for this year, for example, when should they expect to receive an acceptance? Or
by the end of July, as Tuğçe might join me, right? So by the end of, if you receive your interviews and also in the written exams within the second week of July, after the following 2 weeks, you will receive your offer or decline by the program.
Okay. There's a question which is, Koç University has partnerships with other universities outside of Turkey, and a student having completed his courses could attend these universities for a semester or two, depending on if it's thesis, non-thesis program. Do you pay tuition to attend these universities or not?
As they are under the Erasmus agreements, they don't pay tuition. So they are funded by Erasmus, basically, European Commission. They apply through the international office. And if they're selected, they basically receive some stipend from the European Commission. It's like, I'm sure if you're familiar with the Erasmus program, you might have heard that this is a general funding scheme by the European Commission for international students to, exchange in different countries.
In any case, when you join as a new student, you have orientation. One of the orientation activities is, presentations from our Office of International Programs, and they provide information about how you can apply for an exchange semester, where you can find the information about our partner universities, how is the nomination process, what documents you need to submit, what should your GPA be according to each university, because they have different requirements, and the deadlines to apply to go on exchange. Here is another question to maybe clarify about the tuition fee. If the tuition fee for international students, I mean, what is included in that? Does it include dormitory and food or not? It's just for education.
Yeah, it is just for Tuğçe. Go ahead.
It's just for education, yeah, and you cannot how can I say it only includes the education fee, and the students do not have the option to stay in the on-campus residences. So even if you want to pay for housing on campus, it will not be available to students, both Turkish and international.
Our international community office does offer some resources on their website on how to find accommodation in Istanbul, whether close to our campus, if you want to be close to our campus, or in the rest of the city. They have some useful websites, guidance, what type of rental contracts you should try to obtain, and they can always help in case you have questions about that. This question was actually submitted by a participant who was already at Koç in 2017 at the Peacemakers Workshop and Conference. That's great. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have good memories of your time here at Koç. So there is a question here: is the fee is the tax included, like KDV? I mean, this is from a Turkish participant, so they are asking if the fee includes KDV tax.
Yeah, it's the bottom fee. The 76,500 is the flat fee. There's no additional VAT, so it's including the VAT.
Okay. We have a question about GPA. Does the GPA affect the chance to get a scholarship?
To be honest, it is just for you to apply for the program. So if you can apply with a 2.75 GPA, and then you have an incredible and successful interview and the written exam, you can get full tuition. You might apply with 3.550, for example, for a GPA, but then you fail and you don't perform well in interview and written exams, you might get rejected. So GPA is only the criteria to apply for the program, basically. The committee just evaluates you on your academic success.
Okay. Just to clarify, so we can submit our application without TOEFL score, and we might get a conditional acceptance, and we will have the whole first semester as the new deadline to register to submit the score.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a candidate here who has been shortlisted for the written test. How can I take care of that? So I guess you guys will send details soon.
Yes. First, So first of all, if they have to pass the interview, so not the written exam. So if they pass the interview, then we will send them an email about the written exam, how we will conduct them, and the questions and the analysis of cases. Usually, they will receive an email on that.
Okay. There is a question here from a Turkish participant. This says, what? I'm not sure what GNO refers to. I apologize because I might not be familiar. It might be a Turkish abbreviation, but what is the GNO that Koç University has set for the master's degree? Will this criterion be to eliminate as a college exam? I mean, 6 people have applied and 4 people meet the average criterion. Are the remaining 2 people to remain under the criteria of 2 people? I'm not sure, but if you to the person, I think, who asked this question, can you maybe type it in Turkish, because I'm not sure I understood the question.
Dilan, Dilan Türkçe'de yazabilirsin. Ya da biz mi anlamadık, GNO dediğin şey neden bahsettiğini tam anlayamadık. Türkçe'de yazabilirsin, Türkçe cevap verebiliriz.
Okay. I guess what I understand is something that related to the rankings of the university entrance exam in Turkey. It's a similar system to that, you know, where if you meet the
yeah.
Okay, and in the meantime, we'll answer other questions. For the LLM with thesis, does that mean that at the end of the study, we have to discuss or defend our thesis in front of a panel?
Exactly. There's a panel after second year, usually like they've finished, this is the second year, throughout the second year, basically, they just research, they write their dissertation with their advisor. At the end of the semester this year, when they submit their final dissertation to the advisor, and if the advisor says that, okay, it's okay to defend, we set up a committee. One of the jury members will be an external professor coming from a different university, and 2 professors, one is advisor and 1 for professors from the law school, and 1 external committee member. The student defend his thesis in front of the committee. If they find it successful, and then that means that it's passed and they can graduate from the thesis program.
Thank you. There is a quick question on the chat whether if you can access the recording after the session. The answer is yes. You're going to receive an email from Zoom tomorrow. If you attended or just registered, with the recording, with the link to the YouTube video where we will have, you know, today's session. Okay. There's a question about what is the employability rate, or in general, you know, what type of, I guess, jobs Koç law students or LLM students have after graduation.
So a big deal of students, of course, a huge percentage of the students, they work at law firms. So during the LLM as well. So if you're a recent graduate, as a Turkish students I'm talking about, they need to follow legal and required internships under the bar. So they follow their required internship during the LLM semester, because our courses are on Fridays and Saturday, and the Turkish students, they follow their internships at law firms, and after the LLM, they basically continue, most of them continue working in law firms. For international students, due to legislations that in Turkey, with an LLM, you cannot practice law, basically. You cannot be a lawyer in Turkey. But what you can do is you can work in law firms or international offices, companies, or international organizations such as UN, as a consultant, a legal consultant, that you can practice. Most of our international students doing an LLM or have done their LLM at Koç, if they are based in Turkey, if they want to stay in Turkey, they work at international organizations, UNDP, UNFPA, or UN Women, or international companies. Or we have in Istanbul, we have a huge number of global international law firms that they hire international lawyers, but they are under the consultancy scheme. Basically, you cannot be a lawyer, but you can, of course, work there as a staff and a consultant. Most of our students work at that status.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We have a question about public law. So if you maybe can talk a bit about who are the professors who will be teaching during the public law program.
If you check our websites, you will see the academic people's section that all our professors are also in there, and also graduate school of social sciences, LLM programs. You see our professors full list with their CVs and their research research portfolio. But to give you a quick overview, we have our dean, Professor there, who is in international comparative constitutional law. She's teaching there, and also she's assisting and advising research thesis on international human rights law, gender equality, and comparative constitutional law. We have Başak Çalı. She's a part-time professor both here at Koç, and also she's also a director at Hertie College in Berlin. She's teaching international human rights law. We have Murat Önok in international criminal law. We have Nur Gentel, criminal law professor. We have a lot of senior professors and also international professors coming from different institutions across the world. And there is a list goes and on, so I cannot name them one by one, but please check our websites and you can see their research portfolio, and I'm sure you will find them very interesting.
Great. We have a question, which is the LLM without thesis counted as an LLM degree or an MA degree?
No, LLM. All programs, non-thesis or with thesis, you are great. You get the diploma of LLM degree.
Okay. Now, will the LLM program be online this year? So this academic year, we're referring to 2021-22, starting from end of September.
Hopefully, we'll be going back to campus, and graduate level studies will be conducted on campus. I think it will be a hybrid model, like 1 week, one group of students, and the second week, other group of students. But for graduate level LLMs and master's programs, all students will be on campus and they will follow their studies and courses on campus. But this year, of course, we conducted all our courses online.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There's a question. Is there a law clinic?
No, unfortunately not. We don't have the law clinic at Koç University.
Okay. Is there any opportunity to join law firms in Turkey after a completion? I think we have answered.
Yes, we have answered that one.
Your LLM classes are flexibly adapted to the schedule of legal interns as well as of legal practitioners. What is the estimated time interval on Fridays?
So to be honest, you need to get the permission from your law firm on Fridays, because the classes start at 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, one module, and the second module starts from 2 to 6 p.m. If you're gonna, all our students, they follow their practice or they do internships during the weekdays until Thursday, but on Fridays they take off. Fridays and Saturdays they follow their courses.
Okay. Another question from one of our Turkish participants: are the averages of the, I guess, of the students 2.5 and 2.75, or is there a lower average for the LLM students?
No, the minimum.
The admitted students, if you can talk about what was their average GPA, if there is
probably 3. 3 will be the average GPA.
Okay. Okay. So it says, there's a question here. I'm well aware of the fact that international students cannot practice law in Turkey. So what does the university do to bridge that gap? Other international organizations the school is affiliated to that can provide internships to international students. We have mentioned some of that, but maybe.
And we also very successful. I'm sure many of you know also that we have a very successful career center.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout their studies, our career center brings lots of organizations and companies to the campus, and they provide info sessions and even mock interviews for our students. So as long as they are committed to find a part-time job, or else after the LLM they want to stay in Turkey, I'm sure our career center will find them great opportunities.
Mhm. Yeah, and they do keep a database of opportunities that employers send to them. They are, in constant or in regular touch with several law firms and other organizations in Turkey. So those organizations send them the opportunities that are available for both Turkish and international students. And now the database, you're able to, for example, to search for opportunities that are only or that are open to international students, so that you don't, let's say, waste your time and apply for positions that require only nationals. So in that way, the database system that they provide to our students has improved. I think in the last year, this change was made. About the application period, is the application open only once a year, or can we also register in the second semester and start studying then?
No, we only have one intake for fall semester.
Mhm.
But you can defer to the next year, but we usually have the one intake every year.
Okay. For those who are, invited to the written test, is it compulsory for them to come to Turkey to take the written test? No.
Everything is online. Both interviews and written exams are conducted online, so you don't have to travel to Turkey.
Okay. There is, I mean, I guess the question is, there is no full scholarship for the LLM program?
Full
If
tuition
there
fee,
is scholarship.
fee waiver we have. But that doesn't mean that full scholarship package with financial aid, housing. So if you're really successful, if the committee, it's just very limited. Full tuition fee waiver is really limited. But if you get that, that means you just don't pay the tuition. That's it. You need to provide for your living expenses, your travel or housing. They're not included, of course, in the scholarship scheme that we offer.
Okay. And just similar to the previous question, do international students take the written exam too? Yes.
Yes, everybody.
And it's online. Okay. Are you eligible for a scholarship on a conditional offer?
Yes, but the thing is, the conditional offer is about the Toefl or YDS or ALES. So the evaluation of scholarship is made through the interview and written exam. As long as they take 2 of them, they can get the scholarship, even though if they have a conditional offer.
Okay. So now we have a question in Turkish. So international participants, please bear with us for a couple of minutes. So, sormak istediğim not ortalaması hakkında yüksek lisans programına başlayan öğrencilerin hepsi minimum 2.5 ve 2.75 ortalama ile mi başladı? Daha düşük ortalama ile LLM başlayan öğrenci var mı?
No. Hayır. This is a minimum 2.75 or 2.5 for non-thesis. They're the minimum criteria to be able to apply for the program. If you don't hold that, if you don't have this GPA, you cannot apply for the program. You will be rejected immediately. You cannot be shortlisted for interview and written exam.
Okay. Do the LLM degrees, both public or private law, require any proficiency in Turkish, or is it in English?
No, you don't need to have in Turkish proficiency. We have lots of international students, so the classes are in English, so you don't have to speak in Turkish at all.
Okay. One last question we have on the Q&A part, which is what will be the total fee of 1 year? So the 1 year LLM non-thesis program.
Both programs, non-thesis or thesis, they're all the same. The program fee is $76,500, $11,000 for international students, even if you apply for non-thesis or with thesis. This is a program fee, not the yearly fee. So both programs cost the same.
Okay. Of course, you can find the tuition information on the program website, which we will put on the chat section, and you can have a look from that. And you can also email us later and we send you the link if needed. We have a question. Could you mention the profiles of people who achieved to take, 75 or 100% scholarship? What were their ALES results, Toefl results? What were their GPA, their CV? Just, I think this is more in terms of Turkish applicants. What would be the typical profile of a Turkish applicant who receives a full scholarship or, for example, a 75% scholarship?
We cannot give a picture of the students who could get 100% or 75% scholarship. It depends. As I said, like sometimes 2.75 GPA, the students with that GPA, they perform very well in academic, like written exam and interview, and they get full tuition fee. Sometimes they have like over 3 GPA and they perform really bad. So I cannot give the great picture. So as long as you have a good, understanding of your legal discipline, as long as you love that area, if you're applying for public law and you should be aware of the questions that you will receive, it will be comparative constitutional law, criminal law, international criminal law, or human rights law. So if you have this passion in these fields, I'm sure you will be able to answer the questions they ask and you will perform well and get the scholarship. But if you are not if you don't find yourself good or some of the fields, for example, in private law, you don't feel right about some topics, and if you cannot answer those questions, of course, you cannot get the scholarship as you wish. So if you have the passion in yourself, and if you really want to do the LLM in that field, I'm sure you will answer the questions and get the scholarship.
There are, of course, some general tips or recommendations that we give to all applicants. This is, at the graduate level, to keep in mind in terms of the university that you're applying to. So Koç University is a research-oriented university, and it puts a lot of emphasis into research in everything we do. So anytime, especially if you're applying for an LLM with thesis, in which you're expected to write a thesis at the end, any type of research experience you may have had during your undergraduate studies, even in your high school studies, if it's relevant, please do mention it in your CV. For example, you may have a section of your CV which you can talk about any publications. Of course, you may not have been the main author, but if you collaborated in any way, shape, or form to that, it's always useful to mention that. And something that I particularly, this is my input, is of course, you're going to be evaluated by people who are academicians and who are lawyers. So language is important. Being clear in terms of the terms that you're including in your CV is important. Typos, grammar mistakes, your CV should be in English, correct, Esra?
Yes.
Yes. So make sure that someone else reads your CV. Maybe 2 people should read your CV before you submit it, because you may think you have seen it 100 times and it's perfect, but something may escape your eyes. So our recommendation is always, before you submit your application, have someone else, a trusted person that has, for example, a very good level of English, just to check to make sure there's no typos, because of course we have very, very, very good professors who are expecting very, very, very good candidates. So something that something that it's not clear in your CV because of a grammar mistake or just not using the correct terms might impact negatively on your evaluation, if that makes sense. So okay, here's a question: what happens if you get a 50% scholarship from the university after a successful application? Then the Turkish government awards 100% scholarship that covers tuition and everything else. I'll answer that. Under our agreement, the Turkish scholarships, supersedes or trumps whatever offer you have before, because it's funded by the Turkish government. So in that sense, if you do get selected by the Turkish scholarship, then that's the scholarship you come with to the university. Okay. Can an international admission be deferred to next year?
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
Mm-hmm.
If you get admitted and if you cannot travel to Turkey this semester, and if you want to start next year, you can defer your acceptance to next year.
Okay. Will the exams be in English?
Of course, the exams, the interviews, the questions will be in English.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do we have to give a recommendation letter or include referees, I guess, in the CV?
No, we do not ask for reference letters. That's why you don't have to include those.
Mm-hmm. Is there any advantage for international students who can speak Turkish, or it doesn't matter?
For communications, if you want to, you could, in any ways, you will be traveling to Turkey, and if you want to experience the city well, and if you want to communicate in that language. Of course, if you're speaking Turkish, it will help you, but it is not a must.
Yeah, it doesn't award extra points in there.
No, of course, no.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm just going to check briefly if we have any other LLM questions on the Q&A section, and I'm going to briefly check the chat. I think we might have some participants who have joined us last time about the exam. Is there any information about the topics to be asked in the interview and the written exam in general terms?
Generally, the topics will include the area that you're applying for. If you're applying for public law, as I said, some courses, and the topics will be comparative constitutional law, criminal law, international human rights law. And if you're applying for private, it will be civil law, arbitration law, commercial law, maritime law. So these are the topics that I can give you for now.
Okay. One final question from an international participant from Pakistan. Do you have officials in Pakistan through whom we can apply? The answer is no, in the sense that in Pakistan, we partner with one educational agency, but this is mostly for undergraduate programs. We prefer actually if participants apply on their own. I mean, it's a graduate program, so there's no need to engage with any kind of external organization. You can send any questions you have as you're preparing the application to our international or global recruitment team, which I'll put the email in our chat before we finish. And yes, there's no need to apply through any other organization. Now, there are some questions about the PhD in private and public law, which we asked participants to type and that we would leave to the end. And we are right on time to finish it. So if you want to know more about the PhD, we're going to answer some questions about that now. If not, then you're free to say goodbye for today, and then we will finish today's webinar. So the question is, so first of all, are you accepting applicants? Yes, applicants on the PhD for public law program.
Yes, the applications that we run throughout the year, and the application system is open for PhD programs. You can submit your application if you wish to, apply for the program.
Okay. So, okay, there's a question here for the PhD. It says you can contact the Graduate School of Social Sciences and Humanities for finding a supervisor and send an email.
No.
Late May and receive nothing. Should I write a PhD proposal on my own or talk to somebody for that?
No, they have to write their research proposals on their own. And then when they submit their applications, we evaluate those research proposals with the professors in that field. So if those professors find it interesting, then we invite them for interview. So the research proposals is a key element actually here to get the second level of evaluation for PhD. So if the professors are interested to follow such research with that student, they want to get to know them well, and they want to have an interview and conduct a written exams as we have in LLM, then they get the offer. But the PhD concept is a lot bit different because the scholarship scheme, it's a huge package with a financial aid. And we only recruit maximum 5 PhD students every year, as it is fully funded. So it is very competitive. And if they submit a very good, interesting research proposals, our professors will be happy to evaluate it.
Okay. And the second part of that question was maybe to clarify if this, for example, if the statement of purpose is the same thing as a letter of intent, which should I write?
And both could work basically, because again, as I said, the application is basically the first application documents. The most important part is research proposal. The others are just to be eligible for the program. But to get the first stage of evaluation, it is crucial that you have a very successful research proposal, not the statement of purpose or letter of intent. They are the same for us. It is just to get to know you about better, but the real thing is about the research.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's just an issue with the, in terms of our application form, I should explain this. This is an application system that it's shared across all the different graduate schools. So let's say the common term is statement of purpose, but you may see that, for example, on the law PhD application requirements page is referred to as letter of intent, but for practical purposes, it's the same thing. It's you explaining why you want to join the PhD program, what qualities do you offer as a PhD, as a future PhD student to the program, any specific research experience you may have, and why Koç University specifically for your PhD studies. But as Esra Hanım was mentioning, what you should really pay a lot of time and effort and care is in the research proposal, in which you're going to outline a topic and an outline of your methodology or literature review very briefly. So there are guidelines on the website as well about how many words and what to cover in that research proposal. So just to recap, you do not need to have formal okay or endorsement from one of our faculty members as a supervisor. You first apply and then you're evaluated. Of course, I mean, we do know from experience, some students do contact faculty members directly via email. And some faculty members are able to provide informal feedback about whether the proposed topic is aligned with what they want to do or not.
Not for law.
But not for law, yeah.
Not for law.
This is what I'm saying. Like, it really depends on each graduate school and each professor. Some professors, of course, are extremely busy, so they are unable to answer all of the prospective applicant queries. So do keep that in mind. Okay. So I hope that answers your question. And I mark it as answered. And let's see, are the PhD applications due on the 21st of June?
If they would like to be evaluated for fall semester, yes, actually the applications are open throughout the year. So we evaluate on a regular basis. But if you would like to start in fall semester, yes, by 21st of June, you should submit your application.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if they submit after 21st of June, let's say in August,
and they will be evaluated for next semester, maybe it's next year,
okay,
depending on the quota that we have.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There was a question, do we need to submit a proposal when we apply for PhD? Yes, so a research proposal. Let's see. Yes, so we will be sending the video of the webinar via email. The email is going to come from Zoom, from our Zoom account. You will receive it tomorrow around this time. It's sent automatically and it will include the link to today's webinar. There's just a question about undergraduate law course. What is the duration of the undergraduate law course? It's 4 years. Yeah, okay. Let's see if there's no other questions, then we're gonna wrap up. We have just overrun for about 10 minutes. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us and joining us from Turkey or from the country that you're in. We saw participants from Egypt, from Azerbaijan, from Bosnia, I think. So thank you so much. And we look forward to receiving your applications to our LLM in private law and our LLM in private law before the 21st of June, or if you're planning to apply for next year, then next year. Would you like to say any parting words, Esra?
Thank you very much for everyone joining us in this afternoon, Friday afternoon, and we look forward to having your applications and hopefully see you as our students next semester.
Perfect. Tuğçe, any last? I think maybe Tuğçe's
I think she lost connection. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, everyone, and have a good weekend then.
Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.